If you guys have not seen, Trump had a attempted pew pew basically. So he was at a rally in Pennsylvania and he was just chilling doing his thing, and all of a sudden you hear somebody yell, "He's got a gun." And then on top of that, you start hearing bullet, bullet, bullet. And next thing you know, like a bullet hit his ear because he covered up his ear and then kind of looked over, and then more shots started coming out, and everybody realized what was happening. So what ended up happening? It was some 23-year-old dude. I want to say he was a younger dude.
I think he was like 20. So he was in his early 20s.
Yeah. He was early 20s. He climbed up on a building. Some people saw him and were telling the cops, "Hey, there's a dude with a pew pew. You guys need to do something." The cops were just running around acting like fools. And yeah, the guy tried to shoot Trump. Unfortunately, a civilian, a random person, just ended up getting hit by a stray bullet, and they passed away also. But the guy that was doing the shooting, he was also shot. I just don't understand what this country has come to where that's the state of the world again. You know what I mean?
When you're in a situation like that, when you're in a big crowd, that's what I'd like to discuss. Right. Apparently, the crowd just didn't, they were all just as shocked, and like it didn't cause like a big catastrophic, like, oh my God, like fear in people that they started freaking out.
In a lot of situations like that, the problem is half the time there's a lot of confusion. But on top of that, rallies are very packed. Like everybody is just piled into this small little area. And I think a lot of the problem was nobody could move. There is nowhere to go, which is part of the reason why it took so long to get Trump out, because he was covered up. They were trying to go a couple of times and they couldn't get cleared because they didn't have a set path, because it just turned into chaos.
This morning, I saw Killer B Tacticals live. He was discussing this. And he was saying, with his expert opinion, since he was in law enforcement, he thinks that this was an impulsive decision. It wasn't planned out, and it was like an impulsive thing given the age and stuff of the person.
Which I could see that, because younger people are more impulsive. Is that kind of what he's trying to go on?
Well, and then the fact that like it was the age, just the way it all unfolded, he feels like this wasn't like a well thought out, like planned thing.
Right. And maybe it wasn't. I mean, I don't know. I've heard a lot of talk about like the whole Kennedy thing and it being faked, and like who was the actual person that caused it? Was it an inside job? All types of stuff. There's so many theories and conspiracy theories about that. It's crazy.
Right. And you never know, because like, do we trust the government?
If this wasn't a spur of the moment thing, like this dude could have been some kid who was so upset of something Trump did that he decided this was the only way to go, and he realized, oh, he's in my town or whatever nearby, let me go do this. Or somebody hired him, and
you never know. Right.
Yeah. So I don't know, it's just, it blows my mind that that's what it's come to now, because that's not how you handle things. Like,
and I'm like the big person that likes conspiracy theories and stuff like that. I could go down the rabbit hole for hours sometimes. And I don't know if you guys remember that shooting that was in Vegas a few years back at where the guy was up in the hotel room and was able to shoot into the crowd like that. It's like, I saw so many conspiracy theories on that. And it's like, you never know, because do we trust the government? Do we know that they do things on purpose? We know that they do.
Andy was talking about a country concert. I don't remember that. Was that Vegas? Was that at a country concert? I can't remember what the event was for that.
I think it was. I'm not really sure. It was a concert, right?
Yeah.
I think there was also another one at a country concert. Like, it happens quite frequently where there's these shootings, and some people think that this is all a cover up. I mean, there's
Sure.
so many different conspiracy theories. Yeah, Ricky said it was at a country festival.
It's kind of interesting too that out of all the times that he has been out in the open like this, and I mean how long he's been promoting everything, um, why did it
A false
happen?
flag. That's it. That's the word, false flag.
Yes. Why did it happen now? Because I kind of feel like it could have something to do with the fact that he was just convicted of all those felonies. And it's like, we're about to have a felon president if he wins. So maybe that was why.
Which honestly, I think that we do need an example of somebody that has had charges in their past criminal history because honestly, I truly believe that people are capable of change. And I'm a firm believer that if you put in the work, you really can change yourself. And people make mistakes. And I think that just because you have a felony on your record doesn't mean that you're not as good as the next person. Like, we need to change that about the law.
I mean, it's all about safety half the time. Because the whole reason, like, a felon cannot own a pew pew is because if they committed that, maybe they would use a pew pew somewhere else. You know what I mean? Um, Maybe it could be structured in a way where certain crimes don't get certain penalties. Like, you have to get the penalty fitting your crime. Because right now, it is even people that shoot, who knows? Maybe they accidentally hurt a bunch of people. That person gets out and they can't get a weapon for what if hunting was their thing to do. So it's kind of like it was an accident. Maybe they can't drive anymore because maybe it was like a car accident or some stuff like that. You know, it has to be more fitting to the crime instead of this broad stroke kind of thing where if you have a felony or this has happened, you can't do any of these things. It's hard to get a job, all types of stuff.
I just feel like just because somebody has the word felon next to their name, it shouldn't stop people, especially from seeking employment and opportunities that could possibly better them as a person as a whole.
I agree with that. I do not think, as the president of the United States, um, if you've got a felony, I kind of do draw the line at that because if you're, my thing is, if you're willing to bend rules to the point where you did get a felony, especially in Trump's case, what are you going to do while you're in office? What rules are you going to bend in office? And that's my only thing. If he would have got a felony because he beat the crap out of somebody at a bar or something that was trying to hurt somebody, I'd be okay with that. But just the nature of what he's done, it makes it a little weird.
Right. I feel like it all really depends on what your case was all about, what
Mhm.
crime you did. But I really do believe that people are capable of change. Like, I really truly believe that because I witness it. And, I just think that it has to be a good reason.
You're right. Or maybe he was falsely accused. No,
Right.
and I agree with that 100%. It's so soon after getting convicted that's the hard thing because I'm pretty sure he's fighting it. I'm sure
Oh,
he's.
we know he's going to fight that. Of course. Absolutely.
It
We
could
don't
all be
know all the
bullshit.
details. You're absolutely right. And that's why I believe, yeah, he's probably going to appeal it for sure.
That's the thing though. It could all be bullshit, and that's why I understand what everyone else is saying. It's just I don't know. It's a weird direction that we're moving in, and
Well, honestly, the other option isn't really better.
well, no,
What's the other option at this point?
yeah, not even a
Like,
little bit.
I
Because
think we're all screwed.
I was talking to one of my homies the other day. We were talking about they really need to put like an age cap on office being not even just for president, for any congressional office position. There has to be an age cap because there used to be, and as far as I know, I don't think there is anymore.
It's
We're we're,
weird.
we're watching it happen, and I guess the problem is like Biden is kind of just a figurehead right now. He's not even he's not even actually doing as all the presidential duties. He is literally just the face because he has people behind him pulling the strings. The problem is we also did not vote in the people pulling the strings to run the country. We voted in Biden. So I don't know. It's kind of
Well,
weird
we
having.
don't have any good options this day and age because this is just getting terrible. It's not go. We're not moving in the direction forward
Right.
in anything. Snoop Dogg run for president. I would love to see that. I would love to see something like that.
Snoop would be a beast as president, and that's another example, though. Okay, if Snoop became president, he couldn't run because he was a felon. Okay, so Snoop becomes president. It's been a long time since the whole gang violence thing and everything happened. So maybe that would be kind of the stipulation. A certain amount of time has to pass, and maybe you have to take a polygraph or whatever. Do all types of stuff that show things have changed. The part of the problem now is he was convicted while he was running, so there's kind of this gray area where people don't know what to do.
We haven't been there, yes. And somebody was saying we can't have too young of a president, which makes sense because then they don't have the experience needed to run the country. But we need somebody that, has the wisdom, has the experience, has what it takes to really move our country in the right direction. And right now, the people that are running are just not it. I would vote for Trump. I'm just saying.
I don't know if I could vote for either of them.
That's a really good point. And can I speak on that?
No.
You
Yeah.
said, I don't know, but I really wouldn't vote for any of them. And I feel the same way. I guarantee you, we're going to see a lot of people, youth, like not youth, but around our ages. I've never voted in my life, never voted. I never
Really?
even signed up to vote, never registered ever. Don't care to vote. I do care to vote now because I feel like it's important, but I feel like a lot of younger kids or youth don't want to vote now because they don't like who's running. But a lot of people, I bet if they do studies, they're going to show that a lot of people are just not voting because if they don't like the people anyway, they're probably just going to not vote.
Which I understand, and for me, it's just I don't agree with either side. It makes I don't know. I would probably go for Trump purely because he's more mentally there. I mean, just that fact alone, because he can actually have like a sit down with somebody else and actually have an actual conversation. That is probably the only reason because and I'm not against Trump. I actually agree with some of the things that Trump does. It's all the perception and the I don't know the I'm blanking on the word. The appearance that you're trying to have basically. That is my issue. The appearance that is like being put out to the public is iffy on both sides. So it's just weird. Who
Right.
would who would you have voted for if one of the other candidates that was running was in?
Trump.
Still Trump? I could have pegged you for like Vivek or something.
Trump. And I'm
Vivek,
not into voting. I'm not into politics. There's something about him. I just think that has a good business. He comes from a very good business background. And I think that a lot of that would be very useful and it would get our country moving in the right direction again. I don't know.
which I agree. My biggest thing is with Trump, it's like I said, he can actually meet with people and he can handle himself in a public setting and not get bullied around. I kind of feel like everybody is laughing at America in general just because of our president right now, and it's we can't have that happen because there's too many crazies right now with nukes and all types of stuff that
And that's the other thing. Like Voting for me, voting is a privilege.
Mm,
And years ago, when I was in my addiction, like I didn't care about voting, could care less. But now that things are changing and I do have a voice, I feel like I might actually register to vote because you know what? I feel like a lot of our generation just doesn't do these things because we don't care. And we have to care because look at the
see,
world.
and it's crazy because you would think, regardless if you agree with either person, especially the younger generation, the people that just got to the point where they can vote, this is their future that is being affected.
Right.
So even if you don't fully agree with either person, vote for who has just that little bit of edge that's you feel is going to help the future because otherwise it's going to keep on going downhill. We're going to end up getting someone who, can't handle themselves and America's going to get tossed after a little while. Who knows who's going to come after us? China's
Right.
creeping up. Russia's still a decent power. I mean, there's so many out there that could target us at any time, and yeah, it's just crazy.
What about some of the Gypsy Rose stuff? Are you interested to go into that?
Let's do it. You want to talk about it? So,
So,
explain who Gypsy Rose is real quick for people that might not know.
so for those of you that might not know, Gypsy Rose is a girl that was accused of helping her boyfriend at the time off her mother. Now, she was raised in an abusive household, though. Her mother had Munchausen syndrome. Now, what Munchausen syndrome by proxy really is it's when, like, the parent constantly is bringing their child to the doctor saying, Susie has A, B, C, and D, basically Googling different symptoms of a diagnosis, saying that your child has A, B, C, and D, and constantly bringing your child to the doctor and getting these diagnoses and these labels put on this child. And that led to when she was in, she had a boyfriend, they made a plan to unalive the mother. But a lot of people are saying that Gypsy manipulated this boyfriend because of his mental health and because he wasn't in the right place mentally, and that she does have blood on her hands.
How did she unalive her mom?
The boyfriend came over for the weekend to spend the night or whatever, and they decided to, I think he stabbed the mother like multiple times. It was a gruesome crime scene.
He
But
did it though, right? He
he's the one that actually did it. But she went to prison because she was found to be guilty for helping.
colluding. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Now she leaves, she was in jail, I think, for 10 years. She leaves jail married to a man and stays with this man after jail for a short period of time until she moves on to the next man. But now she's pregnant. And there's a conspiracy between whose child could it really be because of the timelines. They fall in a gray area.
Okay.
Whose
All right.
baby is it? Say I'm pregnant right now. And I got pregnant after say I was married and I broke up with my husband, but I find out I'm pregnant now.
Right.
That baby, until I'm legally divorced, is my husband's baby. But then there's also that gray area of like, like you could get pregnant and you might be off a little bit of like when you really got pregnant.
Sure. Usually a couple weeks ish.
I
Yeah.
would say they're pretty consistent with like when you go to get an ultrasound and you find out you're pregnant, they can pretty much go down to like the amount of weeks you are.
Right. Right.
So they're pretty thorough with that. So, I mean, there could be that gray area, but like legally, that brings a lot of questions legally, like, could he go after her? Could he, because ultrasounds are accurate to like the week, I think.
Did the husband have mental health issues too?
That I don't know. I do know that she knows that like he had issues though. You know how some people seek out people because they think that they can, oh, I'm going to benefit from this or
Right,
that.
right.
Almost like it was like too good to be true.
And does he have money or something? What's so special about the husband?
No. Her husband.
Right.
Okay. Um No, not that I know of. Like, I just think that they were married. He supported her all, while she was in prison, which is huge. You meet somebody behind bars, you establish a relationship, you meet them, they're there to support you, put money on your books, doing whatever. And
Okay.
now all of a sudden, you meet somebody that's better than that person. So, bye. Like, it all happened so quick.
I'm sure she was hooking up with dude before,
There you go, Ricky. Gypsy's validation is men.
yeah, and 100%, which that's pretty common, honestly. Okay.
Annie, I haven't seen any TikToks from the people that were locked up with her, but I would love to see them.
How close is the date? Like how far
Honestly,
along are they saying she is?
I don't know the actual timeline and the discrepancy between the two.
I
I'm
just
pretty
know it's
sure
close.
that the new baby is probably this other man's baby. It makes more sense that it would be, especially if, but you never know. Sometimes people have breakups and they don't have a clean break. There's that in between, back and forth period between people. And not everyone is upfront and honest about that in relationships. When a relationship ends, it doesn't mean the boom boom all of a sudden ends sometimes.
Well, and that's what happened with me and Amanda. Because
I
I
mean,
mean,
it happens.
I
There
broke
you
up.
go.
I broke up with her, and we hooked up a few more times, and then all of a sudden she was pregnant. Like the last time we hooked up, and I found out that she had actually stuff had happened like right around the same time, but like right after she had ended up being with somebody else because I told her, it's not going back. But yeah, it happens. And it's hard for the dudes because in those types of situations, no one wants to commit. Like I'm sure the husband is probably trying to commit. Is the boyfriend trying to commit and say, "Oh, that's his baby" and all types of stuff?
The boyfriend's sticking right by her side, but you also got to think about this. Her name is a huge name. Is
Right.
he doing this for clout? Is he doing this for a paycheck? Is he doing this because now this woman got out of jail and she's getting all these, shows and
100%. And then it begs the question, so okay, she's pregnant, she's going to have a kid. All this trauma and crap that happened from her mom, she is she allegedly planned her getting murdered, and it's just like how fit is she to be a mother?
right. That's the argument that a lot of people have. And my opinion is I don't know personally, but what I do know is I really firmly believe that anyone is capable of change because I know I always wasn't a great mother. I know that.
I'm sure she's over time, especially being that much time in jail and everything. Like you're going to get counseling, therapy, like you'll get extensive help if you want it.
Well, the thing with me, with her, that kind of rubs me wrong, the second she got to jail, it was all about the cameras,
Mhm.
the media presence, the shows, she got her nose redone. That's another thing that I would like to touch on. So, for me personally, I've had plastic surgery multiple times. When you do get plastic surgery, you normally get a pregnancy test. My first thoughts are when I heard that she was pregnant, oh my God, I wonder if she did that, if she didn't know she was pregnant and had the surgery. And like, because it was with the timelines, like you don't
Right,
know.
right. She didn't
That
actually
is
know
one
yet.
thing I would like to know.
Huh. Which that's very true. And Ricky said she didn't need therapy, which bullshit. You got to the point, regardless if it scarred you later on, you hit the point where you plan to murder your mom. And I get it. Her mom was a crazy person, and who knows what all she was actually doing to Gypsy. You got to get out of the situation. You got to get out of it. I don't agree with, murdering someone. But if you got to do what you got to do, then so be it. But saying like there's no lasting effects, you don't need therapy from that, that seems wrong because you still got pushed to that point.
I need therapy from watching the shows, from watching her own family shows. Like, I'm not kidding. It's the truth. And honestly, Kyle, every healthy person should be in therapy too. Like, seriously, like normal people that are successful in life are successful sometimes because they vent to someone.
You want to talk about Sketch?
You can talk about it because I don't really know anything. Right. I don't know.
So if you don't know who Sketch is, he's the like, hey brother guy. He's a new creator. He's been going for a little while now, and he blew up in the last few months. So Sketch is like beloved by everybody. Literally everybody's like, oh, Sketch is awesome. Everybody's backing him. Everybody said we made the right person famous. So that's all going on. Sketch is doing his thing. He breaks through. He's had a lot of help with like the FaZe clan and stuff like that. And it comes out that Sketch had a OnlyFans. And there was like a video of him back in the day of him blowing some dude. He had all these like risque pictures and all types of stuff. And people were shitting on him for it. And of course, he was embarrassed and upset, and he thought it would never come out, and it was a big deal to him, obviously. He later on said, I absolutely did this back in the day. The reason why is I was struggling with addiction issues, and I needed money, and it's kind of like the coping mechanism and the thing that got him his fix. So he did it and stopped and became a creator.
First thing I want to say, what doesn't come out in the wash always comes out in the rinse. So what you do in the dark always comes to light, my friends. Just remember that no matter what, social media, the internet, it lives on forever. The things you say on here live on forever. The videos that you post on here will live on forever. Mm-hmm. The stuff you post on Instagram and Facebook, people can screen record. Even if you delete it, it will live on forever. Somebody else can share and repost. You never, ever, ever, ever know. So always make good choices.
Yep. It's just, I mean, even us, we've got our views on here and YouTube and everything like that, and we kind of know the visual we're getting. But at the same time, how many of our videos have been shared out to Facebook and Instagram, all these places, and we've never once seen them? But
right, because people don't always tag you. Right.
Oh gosh, no, yeah.
Especially if someone wants to shit talk you, they're not going to tag you. Mm-hmm. You're just going to be posted. And that's why I say always be honest and always be your real authentic self. Mm-hmm. Because if you're not, your real authentic self is going to be shown in a way that you don't want it shown.
I feel like a lot of people have got caught up on here too. You know what I mean? Just every time someone's on, people are getting caught up like crazy. And it's sad because it's just like, where are the people that are actually on here to help people and do the right thing now?
But also, when it comes to this, like when you take your clothes off or whatever, like there's a vulnerability, a different vulnerability that's there that I don't know that I could ever be that vulnerable with anyone, like ever. Sorry.
No, and it's just the fact that it's been so normalized. It's because a lot of kids are seeing, especially from content creators, a lot of these content creators are in like LA and all types of stuff. Life is very different there in Hollywood. And the difference now is a lot of kids are getting a glimpse of that Hollywood life, and it's starting to happen so much that they're thinking it's normal. So it's all these girls in Hollywood do OF, and they all have these, fancy bags and all this money and go.
And I'm sitting here looking at my kids that are saying that their friends' parents are doing this, and I'm thinking
Right.
they ain't making no money off of it. That's for
Right.
damn sure. Like it, ain't, they ain't.
It's just people got to realize that there are different parts of the world. There are different lifestyles for everybody. I think a lot of people don't understand what the lifestyle that these people they're idolizing are actually living. It is not the lifestyle they show everyone because it's all fake. A lot of it is fake. So
Right.
yes, they've got the money, they've got a lot of cool people they hang out with, whatever. But it's not all fun and games all the time.
And I
And
think a lot of drugs, to be honest with you, come into play when it comes with content creation like that. If I was utilizing something, maybe I would have been a little more lax about wanting to do something like that. But the sober Marie, no. No, no, and no.
you'll even hear a lot of creators that are in LA say it like you can't find a wife out there because everyone literally sleeps with everybody. Like there's a new dude or chick every single night.
Right.
Like
I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
but that is the lifestyle that's being promoted to all these kids too. So now they're out in, I don't know, Ohio in the country, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna spread my legs or whip it out for everybody because that's just what's gonna make me famous and make me important too. And it's just a really really weird place to be.
I want to teach my daughters to respect their body, to respect yourself as a woman. It doesn't mean that because you do OnlyFans, you're not respecting yourself, but I just want them to hold themselves to higher standards, especially when it comes to putting out their body and something that is just for you. And like, if you want to share it with somebody you love, but like, you don't need to share it for free. You don't need to share it for everyone.
And if that is your thing, like if that's what's making you your money, that is your thing. It makes you happy. You're comfortable with it.
Absolutely.
Cool. Whatever. Make your bag. Do what you got to do. The promotion and acceptance of it is kind of the thing that gets me. Because a lot of people argue too. Okay, if you have an OnlyFans, you aren't going to be able to find a guy. Some guys aren't going to care. If it was me personally, and I was approaching someone who had an OnlyFans, if you're doing full on stuff, I probably wouldn't feel super comfortable with that. Even if
It
you're
would
like,
prob-
hey, it's me and you.
would that lower your confidence almost, like feeling like a little less confident, or how would you
Uh,
feel?
I don't know, and it could be because I've been cheated on. So maybe it's like the fact that you're willing to show everybody this. So
Right.
are you gonna do that in person? Like what? It just that's my thing. I feel like it's
Being cheated on creates so much unnecessary trauma. It does.
Mhm.
Like, if you don't want to be with that person, bye. Just goodbye. Like, why bother to eat your cake and have it too the whole time? Makes no sense to me.
So Knotted Up just made a good point too. If they have kids, they need to think about the whole picture, the image of the family.
Right.
100%.
That's what I think about.
But this is where a lot of people come from too. I was broke. I had no money. I was working two or
And it
three.
bought me a house and car, right?
Well, no, it's I was working two or three jobs, and no matter how hard I was trying to find something else, nothing was working, and it wasn't enough to pay the bills. My kids were saying they were hungry, and I didn't have food to put in their belly. And then I tried this and it made me enough money that, yeah, I bought a house in 2 months. So it started off in that regard. You had to do what you did for your family. I mean, I guess that's starting to hit that point where it's like, okay, I guess I get it. Because if it was for my family, sure.
Right. And as a provider for your family, you would do whatever it took to make sure that your kids had a roof and food on the table and whatever they needed to do. It's just an individual choice. I'm
Yeah.
not knocking anyone's decision to do that at all. By all means, get your bag, but do it with the thoughts of your children at least or significant other.
You don't even have to do like nudes on OnlyFans. It can be, you can be covered up still, and a lot of people will still pay. A lot of people pay for that still. You don't have to do anything like that on OnlyFans, because OnlyFans is also a place where you can create content just for your fans, and it's a subscription. Like, it doesn't have to be all that. It was turned into all that because COVID and people were having trouble paying bills. But you're right. Get that bag and go do what you need to do. If you got a little bit of fame from it too, take advantage of it, do whatever. It keeps on going and going all day long. And then people selling their farts and all types of stuff. That shit's just getting weird.
Right. Well, there's a girl. I don't know her name. She was on 90 Day Fiance. I'm obsessed with the show. She started selling her farts in a jar. She was making like 10 grand a week off of it. Like,
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. Like, there is a market to make money on anything. I don't know why I haven't found it, but I haven't found it yet.
Well,
But there's a market to make money on everything.
that's my thing with the OnlyFans is no matter how in need you are, I understand it's one avenue you can take, but at the same time, there are a lot of ways to make money nowadays, homie, like a shit ton. So you can find something else.
I'll be selling my plasma. Thank you very much.
That ain't money. That's little bits of money. You got to think big picture, homie, big picture.
What's big picture?
Start a business, start going crazy on shop, go balls to the walls with content and monetize. You can do a million things. You can start reselling stuff on Amazon. Yeah, there are so many ways.
There are a lot of ways to make money. You
Yeah.
just have to research it, be comfortable with what you're doing, and always know that the internet, social media is always going to live on forever. So always make good choices.
That brings up a good question, Nodded. How do you actually know? I would imagine there's still the smell in there because you do a mason jar and it's actually sealed and all that. But do I need to test this theory for you? Let's test it
Yo,
for you guys.
listen, your girl over here is trying to make some side cash, okay? But I did read up on what she was doing. So she would eat food that would make her smell worse on
Hmm.
purpose, stuff
Hmm.
that would make her gassy and would give like a more pungent smell. And she would eat these things, and I don't know how she would induce it, but there are like fart inducing, like spray. There's different things that you can get to induce farts, and she would do that, and she would do it in the jar or whatever. And right, very attractive. But listen, she made like 40 grand in 1 week selling farts. Could you imagine the market for that?
I feel like you could just go buy some fart spray from the store and spray it in there and just act like it's
Hey,
yours.
Kyle, our new business will be launching today.
Let's do it. All right, let's go. All right, we'll have them labeled. They will be how much you want to make it? Like $50 a jar. I feel like that's fair. We got to
Right?
cover shipping and
Hey,
everything.
Penny, you can get in on it too. We're not going to leave you out, bestie.
Penny, actually, you know what? We're gonna need your bath water, Penny, not farts. We gotta switch it up a little bit. Tox farts. I like it.
Oh, yes, I love it. Talk smarts. There you go.
All right, that is definitely what we need to end with.
I know what this thumbnail is going to be about.
Oh, no. We ain't putting that on the thumbnail. Talks water too. I like it. We can come up with some shit. I'm gonna find some shit.
Wow, you hey, all knotted up. You could be like the business, like helping us to promote,
Promoter.
right?
Yeah. My thing is, I feel like it's gonna have to. How about okay? You guys nodded. You can be a part of it too. I'll go ahead and manage you guys, and you sell the stuff because I feel like girls aren't usually looking for like guys stuff. You know what I mean? I don't think so. I've never seen a guy making money off this.
I
Have you?
don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like a guy can make more money selling parts in a jar.
Really? What girl is gonna? I guess you
No,
could.
who's saying that there's a sex on this? So hear me out.
I
Hear me
feel
out.
you.
Why are you feeling like only girls would buy your farts? Dude, if somebody wants to smell a smell in a jar, they don't care if it's coming from a male or a female.
They do though, because the fart bathwater, whatever it is, it's not
Oh, the
about
bath water they're gonna want from maybe a girl, but like the fart thing, I think not.
I don't think they're doing it for the smell. I think they're doing it because it's coming from a certain person.
Well, you know what we do?
Test it.
We all fart in jars, okay? And then, no, for real, listen, hear me out. We have like, we can make a beautiful girl as like the face for it.
There you
And
go.
we could, and right, we could just, it doesn't matter. All of them will be going out looking like they're coming from the beautiful woman.
Boston 2% just came in, and this is what he gave. I'm so sorry, bro. All right.
Sorry.
We're gonna get our business model figured out, and we'll go from there because I like it. I say we
Right.
make a whole bunch of money. You're gonna see us blinged out like in 2 weeks. We'll be set.